See, I do believe we are live. It is a Monday, so technically not the day of dance, but today's stream topic is going to be about inertia, overcoming inertia, defeating inertia, and then ultimately utilizing inertia. That inertia can be one or two things. Either a thing's, an object's propensity to stay still, unmoved, unchanged, or an object's propensity to continue in a line, a trajectory, unless it is moved by something else. And one of you friends kind of mentioned to me that you believe that I'm a inertial magic user, that these streams, in a weird way, is us building that inertia, that straight line, that pushing towards something greater. And yeah, so I feel dancing is one of those things, those overcomings of inertia, because it's hard enough for us to move. It's hard enough for us to get out of bed sometimes. So getting out of bed and then expending an absurd amount of energy sounds doubly good. So thank you for joining me, Dan. So much love to you. You marvelous meat puppet, you. Joy Schmo's here too. Joy Vive and Shannon and Nana. Any of your other friends, sending your lovin's. Let's dance a little bit, shall we? I listened to a really fire track. Oh, wow. They're actually recommending it to me. That's so nice of them. I'm kind of feeling a little bit seen right now. I feel like this, like it just updated the playlist for me and it literally gave me the song I wanted to play right up top. I don't know the rest of them. Uh, the rest of them are actually, let me do it like this. I can kind of orient them a little bit. We're gonna do this one, and then we're gonna do this one, and then we're gonna dance.
When you open
Up
up
your eyes.
your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, then you realize.
Yeah, wait, what? It's Monday, right? It is Monday, Sam. But I'm overcoming inertia. I don't want to dance right now. I want to lay down. I want to be like,
Through the trees, through the
but
trees,
no,
through the trees.
no. Extreme movement instead. We're gonna dance a little bit, okay? I'm so very confused, Duck Dad. You're just so loved. That's all you have to know. I can feel you, friends, not feeling this track. I can feel it. It's like in my mind. Fine. Pippi steals the show. She always does. Destroying my scarf slowly but surely, but I guess that's the way it's supposed to be. We'll go to the next track. The track is called Aggressive. Literally. Pippi steals the show. Did you plant people, Nanny? I'll just take a switching up to dancing on Monday. Not switching it up, just dancing on Monday as well today. More on it on the stream today. Expected, unfortunately. There were very few customers due to the weather, but sold a few plants and practiced for the next one. Still getting the skills. Still here digging it. It's a nice track. I really enjoyed listening to it today, getting ready.
Find out how much good you can do in the world, and not in this moralistic "thou shalt not" way, but in a
Give me a second quickly. I see smoke. I'm gonna go and find out what the smoke is about. Back in a second. Okay. Kind of a false alarm. Technically, a false alarm. But I'm happy that I went and checked. I was laughing at myself walking there because inertia can be interrupted by something, right? And that's very much what happened. Luke, sending you lovins. Zano is here too. I'll take a moment to connect with all of your friends. I feel like my mind is a little bit scattered. I don't know why. Love is Love. That's this track's name. Love is Love by Shazam. Shazam Project.
Dodge them. There's just one chance. Just try to catch them while they are here.
Go this way. Can't see myself right now. I'm supposed to. Yeah, I could feel the inertia dancing. It was like there was a part of me that was screaming that it wants to sit down, and then there was the other part of me that was screaming that it needs to keep moving. And I would like to believe the moving part won. Uh, Skadoosh. Sicketh. Sorry for the click. Let me get myself a little fluffy cat. I don't know if this sounds like something. It might. Good job of seeing the truth and feeling. Be grateful for the ability to fall in love and live in love. I agree. Thank you for being so wise. We're staring into the sun. Can you move? Just stay right here. Stay right here. Right. The sun is gonna keep setting. The thing is, if I sit somewhere else, I'll be staring into the sun. All right, and it's gonna keep sinking, and then eventually it'll be in complete obscurity. I need to pull the comments up though. I don't think it helps that I put my phone down a little bit. A little bit of darkness won't kill us. Maybe there's a lesson in inertia there as well. Like I've hit inertia.
713888096.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought though. Someone calling me. It's usually like these bots. As soon as you answer, they can't even, give you the courtesy of a real person. They just give you a robot that tries to sell you something. Absolutely unacceptable. It's gonna get better soon, I promise. I promise. Any second now, it's gonna get better. Any second. Let me open this. No, it doesn't look that bad. Let me see what I'm missing. Then again, Pippi steals the show, always. The goddamn Peterson entering my techno fever dreams. I like as soon as I heard him like speaking on that freaking track, I was like, yes, this is kind of hilarious. The track is called Aggressive as well. Aptly so. Aggressive. Shan, I'll talk to you more on the stream today. Expect it out, unfortunately, with a few customers again. Love to you, dude. Can't help but laugh and smile when I think about Papa Mel sitting on his porch and watching Mel dance in the yard to techno music. Papa Mel hasn't been very present at home the last few weeks, but he does admire my ability to dance, And again, he admires it, but at the same time, he believes he is incapable of it. All right. Oh, I can't do that. No, surely. Not me. I couldn't. Yes. Yes, you can. I'm not more special than you. We are the same thing. We breathe. We drink water. Love you. We need to sleep. We eat food. And then we can move our bodies. Right? Dancing is just moving your body, following a rhythm. Following the rhythm of your own heart, of your beingness. Still worth all the effort. Absolutely. Luke saying, I have a interaction coming in today that I've been avoiding for over a year with my once best friend slash ex-boss. Pretty excited to speak. What needs to be said? Good luck to you, dear friend. I wish you all of the wisdom. I wish you all of the calm. I wish you all of the self-confidence and certainty that you'll need to speak your mind truthfully. Good luck to you, Luke. Why have you been avoiding it if you're willing to share? Has it been an inertia thing, realizing that you're going to have to overcome a certain level of movement? You're going to have to go out of your way, make yourself a little bit uncomfortable, but there is value in it, right? There is value in it. I've been thinking about Marcus Aurelius a lot as of late, specifically his quote on getting out of bed. How this dude was one of the most powerful people on planet Earth. There she is, Maxine. I'm happy to see you. I'm wearing your scarf today. I picked your scarf specifically with you in mind. It was like, yes, Maxine will be here. I believe. Put your scarf on. So yeah, Marcus Aurelius, most powerful dude in the world. Still. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get out of bed. My bed is so cozy. So nice. I don't want to get out of bed. But then we do. And then as soon as we do, we have even more to do. And then the more we do, the more we equip ourselves to do more. And the more we equip ourselves to do more, the more we get done. And the more we get done, the more challenges arise, expecting us to do more. It's a lot. It is a lot. But instead of kind of like falling to the inertia of non action, as in we do things and then we fall into this space where we just want to do nothing. Realize that you can push yourself in a direction. That inertia of wanting to do nothing can be used for doing something, right? You can contribute in a small way to something every day. And as you do that, you will build inertia in that direction. Let me see actually. I've been meaning to ask ChatGPT this question. I wonder if it will give me a proper answer. Mm, let me see. Hey ChatGPT, can you tell me about inertial magic? I don't know what inertial is. Inertial. 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 Let's see. Flash, 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 flash. It's thinking about it. It's like, what am I going to tell this dude? There we go. It's starting. As an AI language model, I am not aware of a concept called inertial magic. It doesn't know what inertial magic is? Inertia is the property of matter that resists change in its state of motion. So, if there were a concept of inertial magic, it could involve the manipulation of the forces that govern an object's motion. For instance, an inertial magic spell could be used to enhance an object's ability to resist changes in its motion or to reduce its inertia, making it easier to move or control. However, without more information, it's difficult to say for certain what you mean by inertial magic. If you could provide more context or detail about the concept, I may be able to provide more detailed answer. I feel that's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, so in this context, the object that is in motion is you, right? This fleshy vehicle is the object that you can put into motion. I can move my hands, right? I can get up from bed. I can walk myself, set up the stream, sit down with a few friends to have this conversation right now. I actually like that answer, but I'm gonna give it more context. So, I basically believe that as you keep showing up for something, whatever it is, you will build inertia slash momentum in that space. And it is a type of magic that is a little bit less attractive than the magic we use in this world, but it's a lot more genuine, in my mind at least. Let's see what it thinks of that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, GPT. Now we sit patiently and wait for our AI. There we go. I see what you mean now. It sounds like you're describing a concept where consistently showing up and putting effort into something can create a kind of inertial magic. that builds momentum and helps to manifest your desired outcomes. The idea is similar to the concept of manifestation, very much so, or the law of attraction, true, where the energy and the focus you put into something can influence its outcome. It's also similar to the idea of habit formation and the benefits of consistent effort over time. While there may not be any inertial magic involved in this process, lies, GPT. You don't know me. There is certainly power in building momentum and consistency towards a goal. It can help create a positive feedback loop where your efforts reinforce and build upon each other, leading to greater success and fulfillment. So, in a way, you could think of this kind of consistency and momentum as a form of magic that can help you achieve your goals and create a more fulfilling life. Gangity gang gang. Gang gang. I agree. Gypjetia. Beautifully said. Let me open the chat again. So yeah, you're a magic user already. You're an actual magic user. Now you just have to get good at using your magic. Realize what type of magic you want to do and then practice day after day after day after day. Day after day, the end results were less than desirable, but it sounds like a good warm up sale. And I think, in a way, he's doing the inertial magic thing as well, right? Duck that is. Oh, hope the farm isn't on fire. A part of it was, but it already burnt out. So I was like, oh, okay, good. Good, the fire isn't spreading. Joe, you were right. It's just hard to get over the work, to lose more money, but it's excellent advertising expenditure. Daddy just needs his paper. It's true. Luke sounds like a stressful but potentially fulfilling situation. Inertia is what scares me. About ice skating. Yeah. Ice skating has been quite an experience for me. What are you doing? 16 people in chat. Let's get melt 16 likes. Thank you, Doc Dad. Fortunately, I have had to work on this, right? And this is something that I experienced during RPAN. And I'm happy that I did because I feel I almost gained a certain skill that now can't be taken away from me. And that is the ability to not worry about the numbers. Because I noticed how with the RPAN experiences, because there was one, apparently a lot of unique viewers, and two, they would communicate that to you directly after each stream, and three, there was something called the front page, right? So I would be super self-critical of myself at the end of every stream where I had to analyze. I looked at the amount of updates, I looked at the amount of down votes, I looked at the amount of unique viewers, and then I would justify how I was supposed to feel, right? That inertia. Hey, Kristen, love to you, friend. It's been a while since seeing you. I would justify based on what I was seeing there, how I was supposed to feel, the momentum I was supposed to gain from that experience, and I felt very quickly that that wasn't a sustainable approach to my self worth. Right. So thank you, Duck Dad, for the update and encouragement, but I try not to notice it. Great to hear, Doug. Getting your name out there is good. This is true. The dogs are ready to dance. They know movement is happening. Pippi, like literally, as the music starts playing, she's like here for it. Like she's completely gone right now. I don't know where she is, but if the music had to come back on, she'd probably be like away. My weak ankles are what scares me about ice skating. I bless your ankles, and I hope they get nice and strong. Or whatever. My youngest kept asking if my birthday was Mother's Day. I mean, my birthday has been Mother's Day, the 14th of May. Like, I have had a few birthdays on Mother's Day. It's been an experience. Doug Dad, your youngest kept asking. We have all got this. This being today. You can do it, even if it's a small breath or a big dance move. Yes. It starts with a small breath to lead into a big dance move. You can't have one without the other. I like this track. It's got a chill vibe, right? It's like Muzak style techno. Natalie, I see the fractal. They think you were born a mom. That's how good you are at it. I mean, I feel like Natalie really embodies that mother like, soft, compassionate energy. And even though there comes a lot of suffering with being a mother, I don't see Natalie suffering being a mother. right? I don't know if that makes sense, but yes, I'm proud of you, Natalie. You're always beautifully so. Ele- elevator techno. Imagine. Oops, start dancing accidentally. Microwave. So Borb's breakfast for too long. It's like, what the this shit sucks, yo. You over microwaved my food, mom. Oh no, the burb brekkie. Smooth techno for the 90s and 2000s today. Joe, the burb gets warm food, eats better than I did yesterday. Of course. Dan is here too. So yesterday, this woman I've been seeing ended things with me. I can see on the back end now that I was beginning to fall in love with someone who wasn't feeling that way about me. I've learned so much and confronted so much in myself through the experience. But for today, it just kind of fucking hurts. Yeah. And that's okay. Right then. I feel like that's a good place to start. To be like, I'm hurting right now. I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of disappointed. I kind of feel like there could have been more. I kind of feel a little bit unloved. Right. And it's okay to feel these things. They're not true, the unloved part, especially the loss. You haven't lost anything, as you mentioned beautifully. You've learned so much, but it's okay to feel the way you are feeling. Be with those feelings, acknowledge them, and remind yourself that there will be another side of those feelings as well. We're proud of you, Dan. I'm happy that you went through this experience nonetheless. I'm not happy that the experience ended the way that it did, but I'm happy you got to experience the comfort, the community, the closeness of this person. Because if you didn't, I don't think you would be that upset, right? That this thing happened. You would just be like, I didn't care anyway, really. So, you know, who even cares? Gable, sending you loving. It's nice having you here, my dude. I'll get to your comments soon. The spoiled critter still hasn't completely forgiven me for leaving him for the weekend. It's like, how dare you? How dare you have a life out there somewhere? It's only here. It's only here where I live, where I can see you. That's the only life. I mean, that's technically how it is for a lot of us, isn't it? Not even the animals. Is Chuck Manganese on the horns? Phew. I make rice and chicken for my dog like once a week. So loving. They call the call came in just after, and it well, and peace was made, and lingering unclarities were made clear, and my stress was relieved. Thanks for hearing me. I see. You know those funguses that grow out the side of a tree? But this fungus was growing on the tree of life, and it was like teal blue, had like a brownish oranges rim at the bottom. I don't know if that means anything to you, Luke, but sending you fungal energy, dude. The good kind. I hope at least. There's a lot of positive that came from the whole thing, Joy Vive. I feel more in tune with myself than I ever have before. Knowing what it is you deserve, dude. My cats won't eat human food. Not even tuna. Not even tuna. That is pretty crazy. Sorry to hear that. Before you were indeed. Thank you again for the love, Joy Vive. Good job for seeing the truth and feeling. Be grateful for the ability to fall in love and leave in love. Yeah. My cats will only eat each other's food. We're staring into the sun melting. Can you move? It's better now, right? It's kind of better now. Now it feels like it's meant to be this way. Oh, philosophicals. Oh, profound. Oh, so enlightenment. Oh. As well. Oh. Once an adult and once a kitten. We're staring at the sun. Luke, that's awesome. I've been in a situation where it went the other way. Glad to see you make the most friend. Love is true. Dan, that's never an easy experience, but it can teach us a lot about our interactions and interests when it comes to people. When it comes to our values, when it comes to what we believe we need, right? That's the biggest thing for me. It's like, what do you think you need? And then really getting clear with that, realizing that there are certain things we need. There's certain things that we cannot go without. And I feel trust, clarity, right? I think that's the word you used. Clarity when it comes to the self and what it is we want is of utmost importance. Because if you're not clear you're gonna be confused. You're gonna be like, "The fuck's happening?" at all times. Better know Melty controlling the sun in the sky. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Probably like seeing the future. I try to. I do try to, Joy. I really like seriously do try to see into the future. It's kind of wrong from my philosophical perspective of, hey, oh, relax. Just live in the moment and what and whatever, And then at the same time, I'm like, I have a future. I have a future. There's so much, so much future. Good morning, friends. Shell sending you love. Let me see. I think I missed Shan's message. I'm sorry, Dan. I know it hurts, but it only means there's something better out there for you. And the lessons you've learned made the experience worth it. Sending you peace to the heart. Thank you so much, Shan. Good morning, friends. Good morning, heartache. You old sorry friend. I know where you've been. You visited Dan. Dan, I'm sending out so much love and comfort to you. Darling, you're so loved. Thank you for that. So beautifully said. I appreciate that, Shell. Dan, that's a tough spot. You've got the right attitude. Take yourself out on a date. Wine and dine yourself. Fall in love with you before the next one. Yes. What great advice. What great advice that is, Duck Dad. Allow yourself to fall in love with you first. In fact, I have said this on stream, but I do believe that if you don't love yourself, it's almost like you're going to have a hole in you that you're going to expect the other person to try and fill, but they won't be able to. And then your expectation for them too will grow, and then they will feel that expectation from you ceaselessly, and then that expectation will push them away. And then that being pushed away or them leaving makes you feel like you are maybe less worthy of being loved, making it easier for you not to love yourself, making it easier for you to go and seek that love outside of yourself, re-perpetuating the loop that you put yourself into. Round and around and around and around we go. Yeah, love yourself first. It's a bandwidth thing. As in, I can give Pippi, right? In this moment, I can give her some scritches, be like, oh, I love you, love you. Oh, I love you, love you. Oh, so love, 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 love. And then as soon as I lift my hand up, now the bandwidth, the information transfer of love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, that stops, right? In the same way, I can put my hand on your shoulder, be like, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. But then, as soon as I lift my hand up, that love stops. But when it comes to yourself, you brushing your own teeth, act of love. You washing your own hair, act of love. You going to the bathroom instead of just shitting in your pants. I'm sorry for being so vulgar. Act of love. You are ceaselessly in a state of bandwidth of self love. It doesn't stop. And if you don't realize the fullness of that bandwidth, it will feel like there is some sort of lack. There is something missing. And that feeling of something missing, even when you have more than enough, is devastating because you're like, what the fuck, dude? I have all of this capital to have enough food to eat. I have this place. I have these friends. I have this job. I have this opportunity. Why do I still feel like I don't know what's going on? Like I don't know what's right. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. You're supposed to know your thyself, right? Get to know who you are, who you're meant to be in this world, and then build that inertia, right? Build that momentum of the being you're supposed to be. Come into yourself. Please don't like it's imagine if the body is a vessel and your consciousness can be seen as ethereal energy, spirit. Hey, John, it's nice seeing you, dude. You want your spirit, your awareness to completely fill every little crevice of this body, like and down to the fingertips. Like you should have so much energy in you that there should be energy leaving, your fingertips. Yeah, become yourself. Really, really become yourself because there's no other thing you can be, one, and there's nothing that this world needs more than the thing that you are supposed to be, right? That's why you're here after all. Aggressive, a lot like smooth jazz is aggressive. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for the advice, Doc Dad. That's what I've been doing, trying to show love to myself in all the ways I know how. That way, this way, I can come here and love you people and whoever else I might meet. Exactly. And I for what it's worth, I do believe Dan doesn't have a self-love problem. I think Dan actually does do the work, you know. He's growing his skills, he's moving his body, he's taking care of his responsibilities. So I believe Dan is already where he needs to be when it comes to the level of self-love he's occupying. It's just about echoing that sentiment to all of us that there are going to be people that come into our lives. Joy Vive shared yesterday. Some people are in our lives for a reason, some people are in our lives for a season. And in Dan's life, a season has come to an end. And now he's going to have to move past it. And the best way to move past it is in self love, right? Do not take this happening as evidence that he's not worthy of love. Right? That's the worst thing we can do for ourselves is be like, oh yeah, because this person doesn't want to spend time with me anymore, it means I am unworthy of being loved. Happy message. Let me see the message. I want to see it. I'm hungry now. Okay, well, I'm not too hungry myself. I ate a decent meal today, actually. Collagen rich meal. My joints are happy. My mom said when we went to school, they taught them different dances in gym classes. That's pretty sick, actually. We should bring dancing back. Had dancing in gym class where the girls joined with the boys in seventh and sixth and seventh grade. We had what do you call it? Like a play. We had like a play in our school where we were taught dances and then we had to perform them in front of our parents. Beans Northern Lights photos are amazing. Beans seeing Northern Lights. Doing good so far. No pain. Went out to see the Aurora Borealis last night because it came right into my town. It was an incredible experience. I've never seen them before. Isn't that a sign? That feels like a sign to me, Maxine. Like I don't, mean to be mean, but Maxine, as she was going into this experience, literally going under the blade, she was stripping herself out, worried about mortality, worried about these experiences of, the life that she's lead, and worried, right, that she's been doing all of this work to manifest all of the things she believes she needs in order to live a good life. And now that she has manifested all of these things to live a good life, it felt like the universe was taking it away from her. It's like, oh, wait, okay, you did all of the things that you needed to do to live a good life. Now your life is over. And, it was stripping us out. It was stripping all of us out. And she went under the knife. They found out, what was wrong. They removed what was supposed to be removed, or at least most of it. And then she got to go back home. And then literally a few days, technically 6 days, less than a week later, the Aurora Borealis comes through her space. She gets to see that experience. Feels like a type of rebirth in my mind, Maxine. I hope you're taking it as that as well. There is more to be done. Dance to Soca in grade school. Let me continue reading. The new Nicolas Cage movie was really fun, by the way. I enjoyed it very much. I'm happy to hear it. Did you post a photo of how you looked for your dress up experience? I don't know if you've posted it on the Discord. I have been very absent from social media as of late. It's been influencing my experience. It's been creating an inertia in the opposite direction, where I've been valuing quietness. Like, I do value learning things and having the outside world influence me, but to a point. I'm trying to find balance in being influenced in that way as well. Good idea. It comes to moving your body with dance. Yes. Wonderful gift. Dancing for more. Jazz, that is true. Kristen again. Loved you on Arpan. Thank you, Kristen. Arpan was quite an experience. Arpan feels like a fever dream a little bit, thinking back to it right now. Arpan was kind of wild. Like we had no rules. Like the whole front page thing alone. I'll never forget. Like last year, around this time, I mean, it was my birthday. I turned 24. I sat on that rock. We we talked about the sun rising, and 600,000 friends in that moment showed up. And then new friends were congratulating me, saying happy birthday. And then people were like, oh, it's his birthday. And then there were other people saying happy birthday, and like just snowballed into this giddy, joyful, celebratory energy. That moment hasn't gone away. It's far away, but it's still exactly where it was. I thank you, friends, so much. You have you have melted my brain multiple times. You look like a squishy bear type to me, duck. Meek pushover or way aggressive. Yeah. Did I miss something? I don't know. Did you? Love is true. Once I'd rather, many times, build up the exploring, linger in the shame after. Yeah, 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 yeah. Create oxygen, chemicals, and improve the whole biome. Rolling Stone may gather no moss, but moss is super cool. I agree. That tree behind us actually has like moss growing on its bark. And I was thinking about this 2 nights ago. I took some mushrooms. I played my drum coming up on them, felt them, watched a movie called One More Time, Swedish movie. Watched it in the native language. I was like, yes, I will not listen to the English dub. I need to listen to the original language. And it was beautiful. And it was about love. It was about choices, about how our choices in the past influence the lives we get to live in our futures, and how even though we might not have appreciated the lives we had led up until this moment, the inertia of our experience might not be beneficial or desirable, it's not too late to change. In fact, you have every opportunity to every day, right? You can still make good choices, and making good choices today will put you on an inertial state in order to do more. Happy birthday, Banana, Zano Banana. Is it Zano's birthday? Susanna. I'm gonna go and play Harry Potter. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go and be a wizard. You're a wizard, Zano. Yeah. Or witch? Can whammons be wizards? Whammons can be whatever they want to be, okay? Happy birthday, Zano. We love you, friend. Thank you for spending a moment with us. I hope you have an amazing time playing some games. I love moss, I love nature, same. I have a story in mind that Arpan was an experiment testing how regular people are elevated given instant fame. Then it had bigger positive impacts on friendship that was not predicted. Yeah. Yeah. I feel Arpan was like an anomaly, an internet anomaly that was never supposed to exist, technically. But it did. Oh, it did. And I feel if it wasn't for Arpan existing in the way that it did, and it wasn't for my intention to create in the way I ended up creating, then we wouldn't be here today, right? We wouldn't have this experience, technically. That's exactly how I've been feeling, Melt. I have no regrets, just a temporary sense of loss. The shadow proves the sunshine. This is true. There we go. I don't know why I made that face. I'm not taking any questions. So profound. So profound, so profound. Oh, enlightenment. I'm, I'm happy that you are resonating. It's better now, Melty, controlling the sun in the sky and seeing into the future. Profound, profound enlightenment indeed. Oh, it's bright and sunny for the first time in 5 days. It looks so inviting. If it wasn't 40 degrees Fahrenheit outside, that is pretty cold. Almost. Gonna be 32. 32. Might be 32, but you're still here now. Whammons. Yes. I don't know. Is whammons offensive? Am I not supposed to say whammons? I've been saying whammons a lot. I like saying whammons. I don't know why. I don't know. Women. Yes, women. Women. I don't. Maybe women sounds like too patriarchal to me. Ah, yeah, the woman. Ah, but whammons. Or Gavi says beeps. Beeps. You like it? Okay, good. I've never heard it. You've never heard whammons? Wow. I mean, like it started when I was in high school. where when me and my friends, would like talk something women related, I would just be like, women, yeah, yeah, of course. Nah, but I don't want to wake up. I know, me too. I just want to lay down always, melt into the ground, and then I'm like, shit. Well, if I want to do this more, I'm gonna have to do the other sides more as well. Otherwise, I will only get to do the one thing forever. It's warm enough for the Midwest man to crawl out in the cargo shorts and a hoodie duck. Sam, totally for me, but the plants won't. Someone think about the plants. All of you guys are filling my heart this morning. Thank you for letting me share this and offering your kind words and advice. We care so much about you, Dan. So much love. Again, John, oi to you. Nice one, Mel. So much love. I'm getting some good meat fest today. What? Meat feast? I'm getting some good meat feast today. Like meat, eating meat is gonna be a grounding experience. Maybe Cable is getting grounded. Ground beef. am I trying? Am I reading into it too hard, Cable? Do you give me more information, dude? Don't want to wake up. I want to stay in the bed and sleep all day. Yeah, me too, Zano. Seriously, like really, me too. I really, like, really enjoy being in bed, just being like, yes, calm. There's nowhere for me to be. My bed is soft. My pillow is supportive. I have a painting in front of my bed that is beautiful that I just like to stare at. But then I realized that if I had to just continue laying down, I wouldn't get to see more than just that experience, right? From this inertia perspective, what is valuable for me to experience? And then knowing only by getting up will I get to gain that value. Okay, well, I want to be involved in a meat feast, especially Indian. Maybe he's an actual meat feast right now. But in that case, it's probably not beef, right? Do you eat beef, Gavel? You might have answered that question already, but I think it got melted out of my brain. And meanwhile, my life is so peaceful, says Joy V, since I started focusing on myself and stopped dating. Maybe I'll meet someone, maybe I won't. Either way, I'm blessed with love overflowing from friends and family. Same, Joy. Same, and also I feel it's this perspective of seeking, going out and being in that seeking state. There's a level of desperation there that is in and of itself unattractive base layer, right? It's like, I don't really know if I like you as much as I would have if you weren't so desperate to be loved by me right now. Melty, you're directly quoting my poem with that be yourself because you can't be anyone else line. I love it. Please continue writing your poetry. It's flowing out of all of us at this point, Cable. So much love. What a good point of a funny. I'm a clip it. Good stuff, Dakaru. So much love, you friends. Susanna, me too. So bad. Plans need me though, and streaming with you at 12:30 p.m. will fill me. Thank you, Doug Dad, for opening a space for our friends as well. It was some insane food styles: South Indian meat, Muslim meat, Punjabi meat. Fuck, I'm hungry now. Didn't you just feast, or are you going to feast? I'm tripping out, missed you yesterday in Sangha Sam. We did. I was like, as soon as I kind of like finished the drumming and the meditation, I was thinking to myself, huh, I wonder where Sam is. Actually, really tasty. It does sound nice. Did anyone have to dance to the soca in grade school? No. I saw 100 baby go. What the hell? That's so brutal. They didn't suffer. They got their necks slit and bled out quickly. I mean, there's probably like a little bit of suffering there as well. I didn't post my outfit. I put lots of sparkles on my eyes, though. It was a body sparkle with stars and moons in it. My eyes kept sticking open, but it was worth it. The the pain you friends are willing to go through for beauty is always inspiring. Goat curry is amazing. It's my birthday in 2 days. Okay, so soon. Soon happy birthday to you. Our pan front page was one of the coolest times of my life. So wild. The amount of energy you can feel like suddenly the conscious, expansion of all of the different human beings from all of the different walks of life, from all of the different perspectives, tuning into that space, giving you their attention, their presence, and you're like, this is intimidating, invigorating as well, though. Blessed, so much love being said. Wait a second. Oh, one of your friends mentioned Gob for a second, or Gobby's boobs. You did. It's called sorceress witch. It's more like voodoo-ish. Yeah, I guess that's true. Hey Google, can a woman be a wizard? Gender-based titles, wizards and warlocks usually refer to a male, while witches can refer to any gender, but it's more associated towards women, but not always. But there are some cases, especially in wizards being used as unisex title. Gang, women's can be wizards too. Yeah, and sorceresses. I do get the sorceress one. Sorceress is pretty cool as well, actually. No, like a theater play, Mel. My birthday is on Wednesday. Oh, okay. So good. It got some really good workouts this weekend. Thanks for asking. That's fantastic. I'm calling women's from now. Women's. The women's. Whatever. I identify as women's. I think it's pretty funny myself. So much love. Susanna, 32 was solid. Once you hit 37, I'm going to be 38. That's close to 40. I'm gonna be turning 25. Like I feel like 25 for some reason is an intimidating number for me to be turning, right? Like I feel like if I'm gonna turn 25, now suddenly I have to pretend at least that I'm an adult. Oh yes. Oh, I'm so adulting. Yes, I'm so responsibilities. I'm so no, please, I don't want to grow up. I don't want to grow up. I'll be 37 in May. Over 40 isn't bad as it sounds. You stay yourself, right? I feel consciousness is immortal, ageless. So we experience from that consciousness. Our bodies are just experiencing the change. And then we apply that change to a number that we call age. And we're like, yes, I am a 40-year-old being now. I'm a 25-year-old being. Meanwhile, you're trillions of years old, trillions upon trillions upon trillions, trillions to the power of trillions of years old. No, I don't want to get older. I cried pretty hard about it last night. The days feel like they're just whipping by. hmm The days feel like they're, for me, it feels like the days are pretty fast as well, but at least I know what's going to happen in them. And then there's like an experience of, I don't know if dissociation is the right word, but like with time passing, like the fact that it's almost end of April, right? Like we've experienced the first 4 months of this year. It feels like a lot has happened to me in this year, at least conceptually, to the point where it feels longer than it actually was. I feel time, or how we experience time, might be a direct function of the amount of novelty we allow ourselves in our lives. So if you feel like time is rushing by, do different things. Might make it feel a little bit slower, at least for a moment. The days feel like they're whipping by. It's me, grandma lady over here. Tried at 14 when I found out I had a patch of gray hair. After that, I never got sad about aging again. It's inevitable, so might as well rock the fuck out of it. Exactly. Embrace it and make it good. It's inertia, right? It is, in a way, inertia. It's like you as a body going towards your death, slowly but surely. And we can cry about that. Oh, I'm going to die one day. Or we can realize that the fact that we're going to die one day shouldn't be something to be dreaded because it's an inevitability. It should be something that informs our life. While I was tripping on the mushrooms, I sent Christian a message where there was a bunch of context, but it came down to if I'm going to die, I might as well spend time with people I love while I'm alive. Right? If we're gonna die, spend time with people you love while you're alive. It's where you place the value, right? Don't romanticize dying. Don't romanticize dying. And I do. I do kind of romanticize dying a little bit because I'm curious. And the only way for me to understand what dying is like is for me to die. But I'm not that curious. I'm not that curious just yet. I feel like that curiosity should find me. I shouldn't go and find it. And if it's inevitability, right? If I'm guaranteed to experience dying, then I'm not guaranteed to experience all of living. So I should try. I should try and experience all of the living. I want to be in the movie Groundhog Day. I don't think we do. I think we probably would like it, right? We would like the freedom of being able to do just some random shit every day, Zano. But then that's the joke, right? Like there was an Alan Watts mental experiment on that as well, where he talked about dreaming, where if you could perfectly lucid dream anything you wanted to, and every single night you go to sleep, you could experience, because of time dilation, 80 years worth of experience. You would go to sleep night after night after night, doing the most extravagant things, doing everything, experiencing every possible way of living. And then after enough nights, after enough time had passed, you're going to start experiencing your life exactly as it is right now, exactly as you're aging, exactly as things start to hurt, exactly as people arise in your life that either help or try to break down, and the feelings, the experiences you have as a result of that. You would be experiencing this right now. And I feel in the romantic way, that is what happened, right? You, as God, as the all observer, could observe all. And then, because of its knowing of all that could be observed, wanted to have the experience of being you, wanted to experience what it's like to be this self that you identify with. Acknowledge that power, right? That's your inertia. That's your momentum to be yourself that you echoed into this world. You keep proclaiming yourself as I am. Enter name here. I've chosen one for myself. I am Meltmore. And when I introduce myself and people ask me my name, I now tell them Melt, right? Like it's shorter that way. Just call me Melt. And people ask me why, right? Like why is that your name? And I've been telling them that it's a reminder to myself that even though it is good to have this ego, to have this idea of who you are, realize that that version of you is melting, right? Like you aren't the same person you were yesterday or the day before that or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. You're ceaselessly in this state of melting more, adding more things to your collective consciousness, melting things into it, things that no longer serve you, like drops melt off of yourself, melt away from yourself, things that don't have the right material qualities cannot interface with the rest of your being. As in, maybe you're trying to cultivate the inertial energy of love, of care, of compassion, and then you experience something that makes you feel mean. And that meanness cannot interface with the rest of the energy you're trying to cultivate. It's like they're not compatible. Keval is Indian, probably not much beef, probably not, you're right. A larger percentage of my being doesn't care about growing older, but parts of me has a what the fuck moment. I feel if we could grow old without all of the drawbacks, we would all be okay with it. And we might actually be entering that state of reality over the next few years, where we'll age, but we won't grow old. Right? That's at least my hope. A larger percentage. No, you accept and say it like I said at the dinner, I'm a god. Yeah. I say either that or I go, I will never die. And then I see my dad lose his mind. He's like, what do you mean you will never die? I'm not saying, no. You misunderstand. I'm not saying this you that you are referring to will never die, because this version of me will die eventually. I will return to the earth. But all right, the same I we all refer to, I am, and then we add our name. I am hungry. I am happy. The I am That part, that I am, does not die. It continues indefinitely. And when I say shit like that to my dad, he did like he's like, nah, oh, yeah, of course you were gonna die. I'm like, no, dude. Consciousness doesn't die. It transmutes. It changes. It changes its inertial direction, but it doesn't disappear. It just re-arises, falls back into itself. I don't care about growing old as much as I do care about the physical pains that come with age. Exactly right. We all have the possibility of aging like wine. The upkeep gets a bit more intensive though. Keep moving. That's the best way to stay active. You know, reduce to reduce suffering is to cause yourself discomfort with movement. 11:11. Sending lovins. Sometimes look around and try to remember how I exactly got here. You've always been here, is what I like to say, Joe. You've literally always been here. You've never been anywhere else. You might convince yourself that there was at one point no you, right? Before you were born, for example. But that self that you occupy has existed for all of time, and you just re-arose as that self again. Taking psychedelics and looking into the mirror at yourself and seeing your husk age is a mindful, is a mind fuck. Yeah. I see my dad when I take enough psychedelics and I look in the mirror, I see my dad's face arise over mine. And then I see him smile coyly at me like, you know, you know what you're seeing right now? And I'm like, yes. Being so similar to my dad, but completely contrary is quite an experience. Mindfuck, as you said. I have grays and the beard. Got to lose those puppies. I think gray hair is super cool. No, Melty, you're referring to a witch. To as a witch or sorceress. We're referred to as a witch or a sorceress. It's true, but you can do both. Gang, gang, magical booty. Oh yeah, Zano, it's time for you to learn the Jamaican wine dance. Check out Chris Churio. Will age like fine wine together. I have a few gray hairs, but not very many. In my whiskers, I have a few. I'm gonna be a wizard woman. Yeah, 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 yeah. I sound like an ad bot. I can be anything. I'm the Wizard King. Don't you dare, Joy Vive. That's where I have to put my foot down. I'm gonna be Wizard King. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to be Wizard King. Like, what? Now almost 2 weeks ago, me, Adam, Christian, Johan, took a little bit of mushrooms as well. And we're like diving deep. We started watching a movie and then Christian recommended that we actually just sit and chat. And then we did. We like literally had like a 6-hour conversation tripping on mushrooms. And there was like a bunch of beautiful things shared. There were there was so much love. You know, two things that Christian said that really resonated with me is one, you know what you get with me, right? He like pointed at me and he's like, Mel, one thing I admire about you is that I always know what I get with you, right? Like there's no confusion about the person I'm going to be if you allow me into your life. And him saying that to me was such a beautiful reflection that I had my mind melt a little bit. And then the second thing he said to me is about the way that I live, how he admires just the way that I live. It's not about what I say, it's not about what I do, it's about how I live, how I show up in the world, how I move, you know. And it was almost overwhelming. I started crying a little bit. And then I go to the bathroom. I'm walking to the bathroom. And then he's like echoing, kind of like in the background. It's like, yeah, all of those things. But also, I'm going to be Wizard King. And I stop in my tracks and I look at him. I'm like, Nia, and it's not a pompous, you know, like I have to be this thing and you can't be. It's more both of us kind of like echo the sentiment that we'll be Wizard King. and we won't accept that the other person wants to be Wizard King, and we won't let them just be Wizard King, without a fight. Like you're freaking gonna gooi to the maximums. The Lizard King. I mean, you do live in Florida after all, Joshua. You can buy any class of wizard you like. You can be any class of wizard you like as long as you can pass the written and oral examinations. In this very moment, I'm king. Yes, yes. RPN main page energy, like going full Lucy melt. Exactly, dude. Going full Lucy. You should keep going full Lucy alive. Don't call yourself a whizman though. What was a whizman something else? That's I mean, like I can see the fractal. I don't think I want to be a whizman. Duck, Lucy as in the movie, great movie by the way. Yes, that experience where she like melts herself down into a black goo and then starts integrating herself into the universe as a computer. That's going full Lucy, and going like having the RPAN energy. All of those people. Like it went up to like 17,000 individuals at one point in the stream at the same time. Right, that's a lot of consciousness. That is you turning yourself into black goo and spreading yourself out into the universe. Because this screen can be seen as black goo, right? When it's turned off, it's just black goo. And then when you pull something up, it takes that black goo and transforms it into this image. Hey, is that Melita? Melita! Melita's joining us again, all the way from Croatia. Let's celebrate Melita. We love you, dear friend. It's nice having you here. Let me see. Man, I feel like I'm not catching a breath. Totally the movie Lucy. Asha, masha, masha. It's okay. It's okay. You relax yourself. You relax. Totally the movie Lucy. Love it so much. 25 is when instant overnight healing slowed. No need to feel your age. Healing is accelerated for me at this time in life. Yeah, I feel like I'm not healing slowly, but I could be doing better. I could be doing better. Like I do place a lot of pressure on myself with my exercise and stuff. Watching Scarlett do mukbang was amazing. I think I missed that one. I've got 3 months left of my 20s, and it's a kind of making me feel like I've got to cram a bunch of experience in before my next existential crisis. Too real. As soon as I hit 30, remembering names stopped. How is Christian and Johan Melty? Send them my love and bear hugs. They're doing well. Johan is working hard. Christian is an absolute gangster, got a new job. Michaela, the chica he was interested in, didn't work, unfortunately. He went and visited her. I don't know if I should be sharing this information. I love you, Christian. He's being like, motherfucker. Love you, Christian. Like he went and visited her, but there were issues with insecurity. There were issues with connection, feeling like it was being faked. And he came back knowing that that wasn't the connection he needed. And now he's going to come and visit me for a while soon. So maybe you'll even have to get the opportunity to, rather, to say hi to him yourself. Why not, Joe? As long as it's not risky behavior, then you actually should do that. I feel Jovan, fortunately, is very wise, and she makes good choices because she realizes the significance of making good choices. I don't see Jovan being like, oh, it's last few months of my 20s. Let me get a tattoo on my forehead and, start smoking meth recreationally. Like, sure, that could be something you can do in your 20s, but that might not be wise. Might not be the wisest thing to do in your 20s. People kept asking me my name yesterday. It felt so strange saying Mike. All the people that mean so much to me call me Duck. Mike, we love you, Duck Dad. No matter what your name is, we know the being that you occupy. I am Zano. I am Shell. Did one of us ask? Why not Joe? Actually, to do that. People keep asking me. Schmeltification. I like the shell valve of this true. I don't care about the age of growing older. It's the masculine fractal of my body failing me as years wind on the calendar. Yeah, like that. Right. I'm not joking about the fact that I want a suit. I want a super suit. I want a super suit that regulates my body temperature, is mostly bulletproof, keeps keeps me out of the UV rays while still allowing infrared to pass through. Generates its own energy, with my movements, and also extracting it from the environment. And then can also have fibers embedded into it that can strengthen my physical movements, right? I want a super suit, please. I will not stop until I have a super suit. How long will it take me? 20 years? That's so long. Why so long? Damn it. 20 years. I'll be 45. 44. Can we do 44? Only 19 years, please. Man, I might have grown out of wanting a suit at that age. Because one of the things that I want this suit for, I also wanted to have like uh screens, essentially, right? Like we have already developed technology that can make screens like paper thin. So I want my entire suit to be covered in screens as well, which means that as I talk, as I feel things, as I move, my suit will be integrated into my brain as well, of course. Like my body, my suit, my clothing will literally affect my state of being. See me getting angry. Suddenly, these red bars start melting over me. It's like I think he's not happy about whatever is being communicated right now. And then me sitting there calmly. What are you talking about? What do you mean? It's like we can see, we can see you're melting right now. What's wrong? You can communicate. I like Mike Dad, dog. I mean Mike Duck. I don't care. Love is true. That was the inspiration behind your name. Aging, but not growing older is the premise of In Time. You should watch it tonight if you've got the time. I've seen In Time, Joy. I've seen In Time. It's a little bit of a mildly dystopian one, right? Because I can see us finding ourselves in an in time type of future as well, where we might have abolished the money system, but then we glamorize having time in this world, having the time to do things. Doc Dad, I hear you on that one. The majority of the people I speak to usually reference me as Joe or Jumpin'. I just got used to it to answer as Joe or Joe. And your name isn't Joe as well, right? Like it is trippy. I know you've told me your name, but it's been erased again. I look like my mama. So nice. Must be a trippy thing for you as well then. No need to fight over who's king when we're all blessed with divine crowns of power. Exactly. And it's not a fighting thing. It's not a fighting thing. It's more encouraging one another to become strong enough to be worthy of a position like Wizard King. And Wizard King in this world, it's a show called Black Clover, where the Wizard King is basically the king of all the wizards, where every single person is a magic user, but there is like the OG, the gangster of gangsters, the double OG, the strongest one amongst them that gets to be Wizard King. And then these two characters that the show is based upon are two characters that me and Christian associate with, where the one character has no magic whatsoever, none, and the other character is like a super magic user. Like everybody knows he's powerful enough to eventually become Wizard King, and the other dude has no powers whatsoever. And I associate myself with the person who has no powers whatsoever, and Christian associates himself with the magic user. Where Christian in my life, when I met him, I wasn't using my magic, my inertial magic, my ability to create, and he showed me by writing books, by writing poetry, by drawing. He's an artist as well. How much value there is in being a creator. And now we're like best friends. We watch the show together. He wants to be Wizard King. Those two characters keep pushing each other to be Wizard King. The character who has no magic whatsoever is an inertial magic user as well, where he just keeps adding more and more and more and more momentum to his power, to the things he's showing up for. And it makes him this undefeatable character that I do like to associate with. We like seeing ourselves in characters after all. While we are talking awesome Jamaican people, check out Maca Medical Cucumber video on YouTube. Thank you for suggesting some content. I don't think I've seen it myself. Well, Mel, my best friend told me, my other friend, my best friend told me, other friend, that you always know what Mike thinks and how he feels. Isn't it nice? It's like, it's kind of disconcerting that someone can say that about us, and yet it makes me feel like at least I am being the person I think I'm being, or whatever. Right? I'm not trying to fake it. Zano, when I stream Zumba, we can practice together too. Yes. Do I hear an Elfin Lead reference? Oh, I didn't think I was making an Elfin Lead reference, but Lita. Elfin Lead was an anime I watched when I was like 14. Did you see that moth? It's nice of you to say hi to us. Yeah, Elfin Lead or Lied. It's not for kids. I can say that. Moth came back. Very much not for kids. And when I was like in my teen years, when I came into my morbidity, I was pretty angry. I was pretty nihilistic. I was pretty dark. And then I would like search, what animes are super dark. And I watched like Darker Than Black, and I watched uh, Hellsing Ultimate, and I watched Elfen Lied, and I watched Akima ga Kill, and I watched. I feel like those were some of the most brutal ones. There are more, but Elfen Lied was one of those that kind of showed me that anime ain't no joke. If they really want to communicate, if they want to melt your brain, they can. Anyone else stalked by 14s lately? I've been seeing a few 14s, but I've been seeing 47 and 74s more than anything. Like I'm seeing less 40. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of 44s as well, actually, to be honest. Melton, Melty's people. Thank you for starting my day off right. Heading to work now. Love you, Kristen. Thank you for spending a moment with us. Melton more. Melton, Melty's people. I love that as well. That sounds amazing show. That's a mini series. Was weird. AF Mel, but I loved it. Did you watch Elfin Lied as well? It was a little bit of a mini series. Oh no. Well, hopefully that makes room for his true love to come forth now. It will. Has anyone seen The Last Kingdom? They just released a new movie and it was super great. I loved it all. I loved all of it. I think I might write a parody comic of it for my partner's birthday. Last Kingdom, Seven Kings Must Die, or something like that. I don't know if that's the one you're talking about. I saw it recommended to me, but I haven't watched it. Recreational meth sounds nice. Oh goodness, please no. Don't do meth, right? Not because I say so, just because it's not good for you. All right, that compound will probably make you feel great, but then if you don't have the compound, you'll feel less than great. Yeah, don't do meth. Like I'm even scared of it, right? Because I imagine my state of being probably liking it a lot, being like, yeah, this is great. I should totally be smoking meth all the time. So no, I'd rather not. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm imagining like a meth crystal, being like, hey, you want some of this, and I'm like, no, no, sir, no, sir, thank you. Oh no, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna drink some water, maybe exercise a little bit. I watched it online. It was so good. As it turns out, Duck, Independence has any variety of recreational meth you could possibly imagine. Yeah, it's true. I saw an article that said in 10 years' time, we will be able to purchase mech suits from Home Depot for a few $1,000s. I dream of a mech suit. Me too, dude. I feel it might not even be 10 years. That's the joke. They're already available now. They already exist. The mech suits that, like, for instance, if you work with your arms above your shoulders a lot, there's like a suit that kind of like connects to the bottom of your arm, and then it has like a piston. So as soon as you lift your arm up, it like supports that arm, so you can like hold your arms up higher for longer. And I was like, huh, that's pretty neat. And people like mechanics, people that work like underneath cars, for example, already are like, this is an amazing difference. It is going to make people weaker. That's the other part. So people are still going to have to exercise their own bodies. Like we cannot outsource our movement to the mech suits. We probably will, but I don't think we should. As it turns out, duck. No, I think everyone does that. Super suit. Also, not let you grab unhealthy food while you try to pick. I think I missed it a little bit. Try to pick up cake and it vaporizes. That would be pretty sick. Recreational meth sounds terrifying. I'd be down for recreational microdosing mushies. I mean, that's the joke. That is the joke. Recreational meth is Concerta or Ritalin or Adderall. That is recreational meth. I'm serious. Like I'm being actually serious. Those pills have meth in them. That's what they give you. Recreational meth exists, and we're giving it to our kids, right? That's the wild part. And then it becomes like, oh, this is really helping. I really enjoy this experience. And then you do it again, and then you do it again, and then it go from this is a good experience to I can't have an experience. I can't have a good experience if I don't take this substance. And that's where I find fault. Anything that you start using to the point where you have to use it just in order to continue using it, no, 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 no. No, 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 dependence. I had a dream last night. A small bag of cocaine was sitting on the middle of my main shelf. I also had a dream about cocaine once, Zano, where I picked up like a whole kilogram of it. And I was like, this is insane. Should I find someone? Should I give the cocaine back? Or is someone gonna come and find me for this bag of cocaine? It was a dream. It was like an actual kilogram. It was like the comic kind of like movie esque masking tape wrapped brick of freaking cocaine. I was like, goodness. And I at that point kind of like believed that there would be no way for me to ever do something like that. And I was like, yeah, I just got this kilogram of meth or cocaine or whatever, and now I have to I have to think about the fact that it's not a financial thing for me. I already have it. Am I supposed to do it or not? And I ended up not doing it in the dream. So maybe there was like some sort of lesson learned there as well. I'm so unpop cultured. I wish I could instantly download a whole movie into my mind so I could create real cool movie experiences without impatience. I feel that way as well. Like I would probably just have like an AI model tell me to give me like core points that I could communicate about so I can at least sound like I know what I'm talking about of the movie. It felt so real. I had to check my shelf. Movies are my life, Jovan. That is. I'm totally with you on that. I had the exact thought. I don't know either. Just one show. District 9? That's also a good one. I just heard Lucy and Melting Consciousness with Tech. Yeah. Yeah. I could totally try Zumba when my stupid legs get less stupid. Your stupid legs are not stupid. They're just resting. They want more rest right now. Like that. So I don't know either. Mm, mm. Honestly, I don't think that I would enjoy being king of anything. Well, maybe like king of the dust bunnies or king of the yard gnomes or something like that. Yes, Joe. For me, it's like a direction, right? What do I believe a king needs to embody? Right? What properties? What what wisdom? What state of awareness do I have to occupy to consider myself king-like? Right? And then instead of wanting to be king, as in, you need to, as a person or as a society, give me the title that now I am king. Instead of needing that title to be assigned to me, and then from that point onward, I'll be king. I think of it as like embodying, where all of us can embody that state of being that would be king like, God like, if you will. And if all of us can do that, we won't need a king because there will be so much wisdom, there'll be so much action, there'll be so much willingness to participate in this world and create meaningful change that we won't need for a king in the way we used to. Kings in the past used to be wise and powerful beings that had to make decisions for everyone, and those decisions would affect everyone, and they would have to deal with the consequences of how these things affect people. Now we get to make more decisions for ourselves. We have to be the kings of our own lives. But I would like to learn how to do that well, right? How I can be a good king to myself or whatever. And then wanting to be Wizard King, encouraging one another to actually show up in that way. Spring is back to cold, but there are some amazing tulips for you. Love is true. I don't want to be king, just left the hell alone on a great piece of land. Maybe we can do both. On a great piece of land, found the problem. Yeah, dust bunnies are no match for the king of the electric blower of an orange extension cord. The significant kingship is the bunny kingdom. Sam, great for me in the 500 acres of a stream in the PNW. I missed the mech suit comment and holy shnikes. I'm so excited to see robot people. Yeah, we're gonna see cyborgs, friends. Think about that. In our lifetimes, we'll meet, we'll get to talk to actual cyborgs. I might end up being a cyborg. I think I already am, to be completely honest. Right? I'm already cyborg. I have an ear. This is your ear right now, bringing it closer to my face. Whispering sweet nothings. I'm sorry, Doug Dad. I'm sorry. Right? This is cyborg. This is not normal. This is this is not normal. Right? There's a literal piece of technology as an extension of my body right now that I can move around with, and you friends can follow me, at least audibly. Mm-mm-mm. Man, being strong has only given me a broken body. Sign me up for a weak suit. No, Melt, it's not. It's very close to mech, but it's actually a harmful stereotype. Water and a bomb are chemically 1 unit off. Yes, true. It is very close to meth, but it's actually a harmful stereotype. I mean, it's like if you had to look at what the meth molecule looks like, for instance, Concerta, right? It forms the same shape as a dopamine molecule. And then if you take that shape and you mirror it, right? Well, you take that shape and you mirror it onto itself and you attach those two mirrored sides. That is what Concerta is. So it's not meth in the traditional sense, but it still kind of is, right? And I know that it can be a harmful stereotype, but I also don't believe in soft language. I believe that in talking softly about these things and being kind of like prancy around them. Let me show you. Let me actually show you. Then we can like see with our own eyes. Meth molecule versus Adderall versus Ritalin. Ritalin versus Concerta. Then we can see with our own eyes. You don't have to take my word for it. In fact, don't. Don't take my word for it. Find for yourself. There we go. Yeah. So you see, that's Ritalin. This is amphetamine. So that's actual meth, right? And this is methamphetamine. That's actual meth. And this is amphetamine. So the bonds just kind of change. And then Ritalin is literally that molecule, that shape, as I mentioned, mirrored onto itself. So if you take that and you create a mirror version of it and you attach that mirror to itself, it forms that molecule, right? So it still kind of does the same thing to your brain, where it still bonds to those same receptors. There it is again, right? That molecule is the meth molecule alone. The amphetamine. There we go. There's Adderall. Adderall is just straight meth, basically. This is actual crystal methamphetamine. So it has like a little bit more of a bond there. But this part is the most important. They're kind of like messing it up with the shape here. This is supposed to be the same exact shape, right? At least for this part. If this one is like flipped over like that, it would have these same shapes, and then that little group would have an extra carbon hydrogen, bond to it. But the way that it bonds to your brain is in the exact same way the crystal meth does. The only difference is with like pharmaceutical grade methamphetamine, they have like dosage structures, as in like they'll make these little capsules and then they'll have those molecules in it, but they'll have them in like these membranes, like that dissolve in your stomach as you're digesting it, kind of like letting these layers of that molecule come off into your bloodstream, where smoking it increases the parts per million in your brain to a point where you have a little bit of a difference in experience. His monkey was named Bubbles. Bubbles. King of Bubbles sounds pretty alright. King of Bubbles does sound pretty cool. Mm-hmm. No, Melty told me there's a new drug called meth too. That junk is scary. Yeah, it's. I mean, meth too is like what I was mentioning with like the molecule being duplicated into itself. It's not. It's like two. It's like if you took two meth molecules and you attach them to themselves, and weirdly enough, it doesn't make the meth twice as strong. It actually makes it less affinite to your receptors, which is counterintuitive. An old friend had a big coke dealer at the time. He lost his life because of how caught in it he became. Yeah, cocaine unfortunately makes people feel like they're in control, right? While at the same time robbing you of your control. It's like, oh, you can control not feeling the way you do right now by doing this thing. And then as soon as that thing wears off, then it's like, oh, now I can control again to not feel this way. And then it creates this feedback loop, this usage cycle. I started a hobby so I could micro meet the golden teacher, Maxine. It's easy. Philly Golden Teacher will show you how. It'll teach you so much. So much. More than you know. Why wasn't Killers of Coke washed up on the beach? Some folks got all the luck. Exactly. Some facts. People aren't like, well, lost my $50 million. Guess I'll forget about it. Yep, unfortunately not. So I started a hobby. Okay, I think Queen of the Blue was creepy. Shell, fully native. Golden Teacher in clear caps. After being grinded up in the ninja is so profound. Beautiful experience. I watched the Midnight Gospel after taking them and cried my eyes out. Yes, me too. I also actually watched 2 episodes of the Midnight Gospel 2 nights ago. I attended the same hobby and wasn't successful. And recently, I'm allergic to the spores. I wanted to learn how to do that successfully so bad. It's not too late. Yeah, Mel, the chemical makeup is different than meth. It's not that different. It's unfortunately, I know how we feel, and it's kind of like a little bit in our face to be confronted with the reality of that. But you saw it yourself. The Adderall and the actual crystal meth molecule have like one hydrogen, carbon hydrogen bond attached to it as well. It might make it a little bit different, but it still bonds to the same pathways, right? It still facilitates the same addictive cycle. In fact, they want you to be addicted to it because if you're addicted to a medication, you're going to continue using it. And prescribing meth, right, to our kids is the best way to get customers for life. Ritalin is nearly caffeine, I believe. No, unfortunately not. The brain that needs that chemical shape takes it in and utilizes it in a different way. So comparing it to drugs is really a struggle. It's a reason in the state it's so hard for me to get. I know, Doug Dad. I know, and I'm speaking from personal perspective, right? I was also taking these medications. I still have. I have a bottle of Concerta right now. I have like three little 25 milligram caps left. I got them last year in January. So over the last year and 4 months, I've taken 27 of them, right? And they help. They help me focus. They help me kind of get into that state of mind of, okay, now I need to be doing something, right? I need to channel this stimulated energy into something productive. But the problem for me is I would like to be able to do that without needing the medication. And I'm more scared than anything of forming a dependence habit because I value being able to go into the forest, right? And being able to spend time there. And we're going to do that at some point. And if I don't have access to a medication, and then as a result of my inability to access a medication, I don't have the willpower, I don't have the motivation, I don't have the energy to show up, to overcome my inertia, that feels like a losing battle, right? That's the way I think of it. So I'm not trying to demonize, I'm not trying to say your use of these things are wrong. I use them to I just think it's a balance thing where they can be a good tool, but using them as a daily medication in my mind is dangerous. That's my opinion. And I want to preface, I know nothing, right? All I know is my personal experience. I cannot say for any other person what they're supposed to be experiencing. It's just like how margarine is one chemical away from being plastic, but it's used as a butter alternative. Yeah, but you don't get addicted to margarine. And unfortunately, no matter what you do, these molecules still lose their efficacy as you keep taking them, right? Even though it's not the actual meth, like meth 100%, in the same way you have to keep taking more meth in order to get the same experience, you're gonna have to take more Adderall, more Ritalin, higher dosages to still get the same experience as well. It's still addictive in that way. It's still use pattern forming. The picture of the molecule or one of the pieces of the picture. Neuroscience is showing that the brain that needs it operates differently than a neurotypical. I'm also one of those people who have been prescribed multiple times these medications. The reason I can get it right now is because I do fall under the type of person who is in need of help like that. The only thing I know is that we don't know the full ramifications and we don't know how these things influence us on a broad scale, right? If and we're going to have a little bit more information as we're heading into the future about how these things influence our brains, how they influence our neurons, how they influence our interpretation of reality and how we participate. And when I have this data, I probably will be more willing to consider it, right? Countermeasures as well. Like there's a lot of information still to consider. I took shrooms labeled Trinity Friday before last. They were the strongest I've ever had. I hope they treated you well at least. You know, sometimes strong doesn't necessarily have to be bad. Yeah, I take Adderall every day. Without it, I can't focus or structure my brain to think clearly and strategize organization. It also makes my anxiety and depression non existent. Adderall helps my brain regulate the dopamine distribution, which makes me calm, serene, and present. I never have tweaker energy because it's a dosage thing as well, right? I'm not saying you're a meth user for using Adderall. What I'm saying is Adderall is technically the same molecule, right? And dosage is very important. For instance, if you drink coffee, it's not a bad thing necessarily. But if you keep drinking coffee and now you're the next day you're drinking two coffees and the day after that you're drinking two and a half coffees and then you're drinking four coffees and then you're drinking 10 coffees and then you sit down and you drink 10 coffees back to back to back to back and now you're like right, that's not a good way to use this compound. And for instance, if 10 coffees would be like the equivalent of smoking meth, Adderall would be like drinking one coffee. So you still get that stimulating effect, but you don't get that, as you mentioned, tweaker energy. It's still like, for instance, you know, to like, and I'm not recommending this. If you take 10 of your Adderalls at the same time, you're gonna have tweaker energy, 100%. You're gonna tweak the fuck out because it's still the same molecule. It still influences your brain the same way. It still gives you that dopamine telling you that whatever it is you're doing is good. Yeah, good, good, right? That's why it can be easier to work. That's why it can be easier to, what's the word you lose? Compartmentalize, rationalize, strategize, organization is because it allows that kind of, yes, yes, do this thing, yes, yes, organize, yes, strategize, yes, yes, do it, yeah. I tapped off Zoloft in January, and I'm still only feeding the teacher slightly. I'm meeting routinely until further notice. Slow but sure healing. Antidepressants made things worse for me. Same. That's a little bit different, makes all the difference in the world. I see and respect your views on Adderall. It has helped profound change in my life. And I've never been a drug addicted. I'm not saying you are, dear friends. I know this is a loaded topic, right? Like the whole, there's a lot of information to it. All I'm saying is that the data on these medications are pretty clear, right? Like they do help, but they also have side effects. And those side effects are undeniable. They are clear. They have been proven over and over and over again. And it's just a question of, are you willing to accept these side effects when it comes to the long term, right? years after. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mhm. Maxine, I agree. I have a close friend who had the same experience as you. Adderall just allows this person to function normally. Metha, methylphenidate hydrochloride. It's a legal, clean, and controlled form of meth. Like it does activate the same receptors, but it's definitely different than what's made in a bathtub. So I can see how comparing the two would be unhelpful for stereotypes used as a argument for lawmakers. Agreed, completely. Exactly, Dan. Everyone's body is wired different, and some people can have different chemicals that make them run correctly that wouldn't be suitable for another. That doesn't make it bad. I agree. And I actually believe your brokenness, right? If that's what we want to call it, believing that you need this medication to function normally is societal brain damage. Like you are the way you are with your brain chemical levels for a reason. You wouldn't experience life as you do if you weren't the way that you are, right? And then adding compounds to that daily to make yourself normal, I feel like that's a tragedy, where, yeah, you might be normal when it comes to society. You might be normal when it comes to productivity. You might be normal when it comes to doing busy work, but you'll rob yourself of the version of you that you've always been, the version of you that you actually are, right? And that's the big thing for me. Like I value the experiences we get to have here just as much as the experiences we get to have of substances as well. My Vyvanse allowed me to have this moment of pause, to stop the dysregulation of emotions from sending me into an anger. It allows me to take physical release of fight chemicals in stride and not get activated. 6 months after taking it, I started a successful mentorship and was excelling in class, but been keeping every single appointment, got a raise at my job, and I'm doing such great work. And my mental health was the most solid that it's ever been in my life. One of the craziest things that happened when I took the Adderall was it made my insomnia stop. I take it at 8 a.m. and I'm out at 10 on the dot every night. I wasn't diagnosed and I started taking it last June. I grieve for the potential I lost. Yeah, I get it. I don't think you did lose any potential from my perspective, because if you didn't experience life the way that you did, you wouldn't be who you are, right? There is no loss. You cannot lose. It's impossible for you to lose anything. Eventually, we will die. Eventually, a million years will pass. Eventually, a billion years will pass. And everything you ever worked for, everything you ever did, will return to dust, right? So you can take all the meth you want and do all of the busy work, get all of the raises, get all of the, mentorships done. And I'm not trying to make less of it. What I'm saying is your experience is valuable. Your experience is valuable. What you get out of your experience, the things you make from your experience, is a byproduct of the work you do, of the person you are. Isn't the meaning, isn't what gives you value. Your value isn't measured by how much work you've done. Your value isn't lost by this potential that you haven't activated before. You are already as you're supposed to be. Mhm. Without it, my logical brain over like a running uphill with a weighted vest. Yeah. As I keep saying to you, friends, I'm also supposed to use these medications, right? And I feel these things as well. All of them. The weighted vest feeling. When I take Concerta, I started writing my book with Concerta, right? And I wrote something like 2,000 words the first day I sat down taking Concerta. And I've written, upwards of 45,000 words using this substance, and it makes me a machine. It equips me to do work like that without distraction. But that's not who I am, right? Sure, being that, I can make a lot of money. Sure, being that, I can gain a lot of acclaim as to, oh, wow, you did all of these things. But that's not me. It's a version of me. It's a part of me that I can elicit, but it's not who I am. And these drugs can help, but they won't make you who you are. You already are who you are. The drugs can just accentuate. Concerta did not work for me. I was on it for 4 years and it made me worse. Goodness. I have all the dysregulations. I don't want to take a pill. Position on THC is that it causes psychosis. There's a lot of them. I wasn't diagnosed. Tiger hugs and high fives. It still am very painted to be the potential I lost in abuse. I took at a lazy and dumb. Meth doesn't believe in medication. We should just not talk about it anymore. You're not gonna change his mind, and we should be happy we found it works for us. I agree. I was on Melty's side of the fence for decades because of the stereotype. I wanted to be pull free as well. I missed out on not trying it for myself years ago. Love is true. I have to take lithium every night, 750 milligrams. They want me on 1,000 milligrams, but I say fuck that. I wanted to stay on 150, but my brain still went into mania on that, so I have to take the 750 milligrams. My brain malfunctions for real. Mania is hard to explain, but if I had trouble focusing, I probably wouldn't be taking meds. I have to take the lithium because if I don't, I could become a danger to myself or others, even with the threat of possibly losing my life or destroying relationships, not being on it. What the community needs is free ABR therapy. Hey Google, what is ABR therapy? That's VR therapy. Maybe you can let me know. Melt doesn't believe in medications. I believe in the medications that are proven, right? Like I would rather someone take mushrooms or MDMA and like deal with their inner work and then let that inner work reveal to them what needs to be done and then learning how to be disciplined, right? I believe in discipline more than I believe in medication because discipline is something I have control over. Taking a medication, I give my control to the medication. That's the way I see it. And with that, I think we can leave it at it. Real. I'm not saying my position is not allowed to be his. I'm saying factually, only taking about half of a whole, two halves make a whole, and the process of uptake is being left out. The unmedicated version of myself feels emotions so intensely all across the board. And I feel that's what you're supposed to be, Maxine. You're supposed to be that sensitive being because we have a lot of insensitive beings in the world right now. The depth of stress, yes. Anxiety, yes. Depression, yes. Was taking a huge chunk out of my life and sucking the life force out of me. It's again this perspective, Maxine, that some emotions, some feelings are meant to be felt and some aren't. And we have been brain damaged as a society that depression is a disease to be treated, right? When it's not. Depression is a symptom of a society. And adding more drugs into the minds of our people to make sure they stop feeling so anxious, to make sure they stop feeling so depressed, isn't helpful. It's just, closing our eyes, pretending like the problem isn't real. That's the problem for me, right? And then there's a financial incentive. That's the thing. Think about the financial incentive, right? These companies that sell these drugs want to make money, and they only make money if you keep taking their drugs, right? Any drug that expects you to keep taking it, in my mind, I feel is dangerous because it takes away your power and it makes you give your power to this company every single month. I disagree the community needs has to spell misinformation or we lose what we need. I feel it's good to kind of like communicate these perspectives. That's why I'm not ignoring you, friends. That's why I'm like reading every one of your comments because all of us have different perspectives on these things. And a friend might be on the fence, and they get to hear both of our perspectives and they can still like try it, right? Don't say I told you to try it. Do your own research and try these experiences for yourself and then figure it out, right? Learn. You are your own lab ultimately. You're going to experience life from the perspective you choose to experience it from. I do agree with the sentiment. Super hard, especially right now, Mel. I have no regrets or qualms about even the most painful experiences I've had, cause they made me. This is true. And you wouldn't be, right? Like, you would be less. You would be actually less if you haven't experienced the pain you have. So celebrate it. Don't demonize it. Myself or others, even with the threat of possibly losing my life or destroying. I think everyone feel like this is the perfect space to express our different fractals, regardless of our views. We're all here to love, exactly, right? And that's like that. I hope it's very clear that all of these things I'm saying, all of these things I'm communicating, the way I'm feeling. Hey, Kat, melt more. It's Ebony Star, Ebony. Lovins to you. It's been like forever. Been like an actual year or more since seeing you. Love to you. It's nice having you here. All of these things I'm talking about, all of these concerns I'm communicating, I would only communicate because I love you, right? If I didn't care about you and what you did with your own body, then I would be like, do what you want, fuck yourself up. I don't care. But no, I do care. I care too much, unfortunately, and that can be uncomfortable as well. My Sid is different. I had suppressed memories and a fabricated life. I got off the SSRIs and found out who I am. For now, I'm relying on friendship, food, movement, lemon tech, and therapy. Sounds good. Doc, I don't agree with Melt, but I also hate circular arguments. You and no one else in the stream is going to change his mind. It's true. But we see, and I'll, again, if I can have a little bit more data about how these things influence us and how they change our brain chemistry, then I would be a little bit more, open to it as well. But we don't know. We're kind of like children playing with the most complex technology in the world right now, our human brains, and we don't have all of the information that we need right now. I'm out to tell a very intelligent human being who cares for others that his half of the picture, language, harms people. I come for love, and I know Melt has love. I'm not trying to harm anyone. I'm trying to communicate perspective, right? That is ultimately what we're trying to do, because I don't know. I don't know everything. I don't know your individual experience, but I know mine, and that's the only place from which I can communicate. The data on the medication is clear. The data on the brain is evolving. I'll stop now. I love you always, friend. It's light therapy with a therapist and reworking brain patterns. Yes, I agree. We all need more of that as well. Man, I painted a self-portrait for class. I wrote a 10-paper page and carried such normal medications with people when I was on Ritalin. Being off it and kind of dumb. Being off it and kind of dumb and scattered. I'm kind of dumb and scattered? Is that what you're saying? Self-portrait for class, wrote a 10-page paper and carried such normal medications with people, normal conversations with people when I was on Ritalin. Being off it, I feel kind of dumb and scattered. Me too. I feel dumb and scattered all the time, right? And we still show up. Gobbity goo! Yo skibop! Yo bobo bizzle bot! You are the goddess esteem and worthy feeble bebop feeble flop. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about some loaded topics right now, gobbity goo. Also, while I don't want to convince anyone, I want to know very much about how you all, my friends, are dealing with your lives down to the nubbins. Yes, learn how to live well. Meltmore, good to see you, Ebony Star. Again, love to you, Catnip. It's nice having you, friend. Hey, everybody. I have a habit of being down on myself for not being enough, but this conversation makes me realize that I can't fairly compare myself to my sister, who's like a freaking goddess. Joy. Joe, you have no idea how much of a goddess you are in my mind. So know that at least. Imposter syndrome is in me because I was never good enough in the square peg round hole system. Same, dude. Studying and talking truthfully inward to yourself to find what you need and not what you want. You can change your brain with 30 minutes of meditation a day for 30 days. That is true medicine. Now we're getting to my kind of belief system, right? Meditating, spending time in mindfulness, kind of like giving yourself a moment to be with yourself, I also believe can be so much more beneficial than medication. I feel like you are an individual, are the only true barometer for what makes you feel better. The entire subject hinges entirely on perspective. The science is known, the chemistry defined, It's truly about the spirit. I love that. Joe Schmo, beautifully said. Exploring one's own potential is a beautiful endeavor. The methods are the argument. Yes. And if you notice the method starting to be harmful to yourself or to others, that's where we should find pause. And I'm not saying any of you are harming yourself or others. I'm just bringing the conversation to our minds. We're talking about inertia, right? And that's the joke. Like if I take Concerta or Ritalin, it will 100%, look at me, 100% be easier for me to overcome my inertia, for me to get up and go and do something, for me to get up and start writing. It will be easier. But I pride myself in being able to overcome that inertia without the need for substance, right? I do pride myself in it. And that's what makes me feel better. To show myself that I can be strong, I can show up for my goals without needing external help or whatever. Her having a master's degree and being a super productive and accomplished person. Not saying she's better because of it, but I'm proud of both of us and both of our experiences. Thank you, Sho, for sharing so much love to your sister, even though she's not here right now. Exploring one's own potential again, for the one. But be sure that mycelium gets into us before we grab the tools. Oh yes, the journey to greatness and unity looks different for everyone. True. I think we need a card. I think it's a good time for it. It's the irony in that comment. I deleted it because I'm scattered and there were all kinds of typos. It's perfect. Melt is not harming anyone. We can say how we feel and our own boundaries. We are all adults and we can handle criticism, especially directed towards big pharma. Yes, because that's who I'm actually attacking, if anyone, right now. Not you, but the companies that profit from these things. Thank you for echoing that, Zana. I appreciate you seeing my sentiment. You are a harmony. God is so much love. Yes, 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 yes. The immortal Jovan. Jovan is absolutely a goddess. One of her spirit animals is the Black Panther. That's not a coincidence. No, of course not. I'm going to schedule and prepare today. I'm going to overcome my inertia. You got this. I low-key worship Joe Bobo, goddess bot. Me too. Every single time I see 34, I send her lovin's. No, stop. I mean to say that sometimes I compare myself to the people around me being successful. Then this convo makes me realize that I can get down and whiny on myself because I've got to take responsibility for choosing to be kind of dumb. I feel what you're saying, Jovan. I do. And on top of that, I'm going to again echo how beautiful you are, right? Even if you might feel like you're being dumb, that version of you is still so beautifully loving. Can't get down on myself. Gosh, typos. It's okay. I think you're wonderful. Yes, I'm going. If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. Let us love you like a newborn. Joe Bot. Mush, 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 mush. Yeah, Shell bringing the mush, 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 mush back. Ready for a card? Let me see. I'll like up the brightness of this screen. Maybe we'll be able to see something. Gonna have to find a flower. What did you think about yesterday's flower, friends? This was yesterday's flower. Nope. Nope. Funny. That's yesterday's flower. Can you see the dragons? I was trying to capture dragon energy in making this flower. So, to me, this is a dragon eye, little ear, nostrils, dragon face. Then there's another dragon down here, nose, kind of like eyes, little ears. And then there's another dragon. Yeah. That's their sign. And there's another dragon. That's my face. Go away. Do you see this one? Oh, goodness, I'm tripping myself out. Let me just open this thing, up my brightness. Yeah, it's actually working. Sicketh. And then we can pull a card. Beautiful flower melty. One of the Auroria Valhaz pics I took. Looks like a dragon, of course it does. Yes, the flower was crazy. I'm happy you liked it as well. I'm hella jelly of all of your creative friends. I've give so much to be able to create the way you do. How much would you give? Suddenly, I feel like this is like that lighting scenario where it's kind of like creepy. I'm like, oh, you, you'll give anything, Joy Vive? So, the thing I want you to give is your time and effort in practicing how to become an artistic person. Yes, that is the anything you have to give. Like 20 minutes of you practicing art. You will become an artist as well. Yesterday flower. The sunset behind you was gorgeous, Melty. I'm happy to share it with you. That's magic. Beautiful flower, Melty. Again, love. Makes my brain feel good looking at that. Mine too. Mine too. Like this flower is like one of the most special ones to me in a while. Like this is if I blow it up completely on the screen. And unfortunately, the Patreon desolates my images, but there is a lot of information in these. Like there are creatures living everywhere in these flowers. They make me so happy. The fact that I get to share them with you friends. I love these flowers so much. I'm gonna put them down for now, right now. Though. Makes my brain feel good. I can pick out a cool scarf. I can tell you the best place to hang your picture, but I can create skeleton art like Susan or wake up and glide a picture frame like Joe. Maybe one day I can write cool stories like Sam, but probably not. Don't you don't you limit yourself. I adore the vibrancy of the colors. Again, love to you. You can do anything, Joy. Anything. Anything can be done by you. All you have to do is do it. Overcome the inertia of believing you can't. Start doing it, and you'll realize eventually that you can. That you, in fact, are just as powerful as me. Ooh. Swallow the sun. You have to swallow the sun. All right? Eat the sun, swallow the sun. Take the sun into your being. Become powerful. Overcome inertia. You already are artistic, my dear friend. Just the way you show up in the world is a work of art. Love you all. Love you, Joe. Okay, let's read what that card means. Swallow the sun. Dreams and visions as the core meaning. The sun is celebrated throughout the world as a giver of life, and in some cultures, as a god. Both the ancient Greeks and Romans worshipped one or more solar deities, and in Hindu literature, the sun is mentioned as the visible form of God that one can see every day. Aztec, Incan, and Egyptian traditions all held the sun in godly accord. Whatever your spiritual belief, it is clear that our sun represents a psychological principle that transcends time and place. The vibrant geometry of this card, the vibrant geometry of this sun card invites you to explore its symbolism and its ability to illuminate and guide you. Swallow, swoop, and play in the solar portal, encouraging you to see a light-hearted reflection of your dreams and visions. Dreams, whether in sleep or the musings of reverie, will offer clues to your internal process. Visions directs your path and offers a sense of purpose, vitality, and life force. What messages have your dreams been offering you lately? What progress are you making towards the realization of your vision? Meditate with this card and consider these questions. Do not be hard on yourself if you're not happy with your progress. Realize when you push too hard, you may actually be resisting the thing that you most desire. Relax with your positive intentions as you bring your finest dreams and visions into this reality. Skabow. Thank you, dear friends. Is that card 16? 19, technically. So if you swappity swap that 9 around, it would be 16. Is it? No. No. I love this card. Love is true. My head doesn't allow. Let me just check to make sure. Yeah, it's card number 19. My head doesn't allow to have the ability to medicate. I started to meditate. Like you're gonna rub me wrong by making definite statements like that, Doug Dad, because it's not true, dude. I'm sorry. Every single person can meditate, right? When you sit down and you try and meditate and your mind is just running, that doesn't mean you can't meditate. That means you have to be there and let your mind run until it reaches a point of exhaustion. And then you might start meditating, right? But if you keep avoiding that space, telling yourself that that's not something I can do, you never will. I started meditating after medication helped me find the chemical calm, but I don't feel like I'm running out of my skin. Joy, the secret to writing good stories is to steal from other stories like you like. That's it. That's the whole technique. Thank you for giving that wisdom. I know for a fact, Joy, that you can learn the art and craft you wish to do. I know this because I learn new ones, and so can you. So much encouragement. Don't make definitive statements of yourself that you don't want to believe, right? That's something I feel is very important. Like when you say something, you should want to believe it. When you say, "Oh, I can't meditate," do you want to believe that? When you say, "I can't be an artist," or "I can't, make beautiful works of, art," do you want to believe that about yourself? And if the answer is no, why are you saying it? Why are you saying it? Y'all went through a roller coaster of emotions in the stream, excitement, sadness, all kinds of funnies. That's what made me curious. Perspective, that we were completely new to me. Again, coming out with more of that overwhelming love for all of yous. Glad I worked from home today. I love every one of you, mushily mushy friends, as we love you. Joe, thank you, friends, for being here with me and for considering all of these topics, all of these inertias for us to overcome. Medication doesn't help me overcome any inertia. My production is me. The medication helps my body be receptive to the mind. Yep. My body has never been receptive to my mind. It's always a battle. I always have to force myself to do something. But that is pretty much the reality for every single person in the world. I believe at least. It's either 16 or very close to 16, I remember correctly, Maxine. I meditated deeply and for months at a time, unmedicated. Still didn't get to the depth I get to now from the meds. I also meditate more deeply when I smoke weed, right? And I prefer to meditate after I smoked weed. But that doesn't mean I'm incapable of meditating if I don't smoke weed. Melty has been getting so many cards saying to pay attention to dreams and the messages within them. It's true. Blessings of the infinity, prayers for the ears that hear and the eyes to see. The beauty of this format is that we don't interpret him with our chatter. If we interrupt him with our chatter, if we were in person, we would be so disruptive and rude. But here this is. It is the way it's supposed to be, Shell. It's the way it's supposed to be. Like there's a certain amount of freedom for me to flow into my own mindset. And then we can kind of see where that leads us. And then you friends keep kind of adding little nodes that I can kind of direct myself with as we go. Shell, I had the same exact thought more than once. This is a special kind of space and format. It's the way it's supposed to be. And you friends make it what it is as well. I might be in this space and I might contribute to this format, but you friends are the conscious nodes that actually makes the format something valuable, right? This space doesn't have value in and of itself. You come in with your whole life's experience, with all of the things that you've experienced and interpreted, and then getting to go through this conversation and reflect upon that. That is what's valuable. Your experience is what's valuable. I feel like he's making a statement from his personal experience. The medication enables some the ability that we're not yet equipped with. Yep, me too. Me too, Maxine. I haven't started writing a book, and then I took this medication and I decided, well, I took this medication, so I guess I have to start writing, right? And then I started writing my book because this medication helped me. And I believed up until that point that I wasn't someone who could write a book, right? I don't have the focus, I don't have the dedication to sit down and write the book, so I couldn't. And then I took this drug, and then suddenly I had this motivation to. And then I proved to myself that I actually can. But I don't attach my ability to the drug. I attach my ability to my ability to, and I take pride. And it is a pride thing. I take pride in being able to make myself do things. I love you all so much. Thank you for showing up every day, Melt Fam. Dan, love you, dear friend. I'm so happy you're back, Beansy, and sounding just like your old self too. It's been awesome having you here lately, Dano. Love the energy you bring. So much love. It's so weird, Joy. I feel like the surgery also took out something energetically as well. It's still going through a spiritual awakening, but I feel so much more stable. You did have something taken out of you. Like if you have a part of your body that is not functioning as it's supposed to, that influences your spirit as well, right? That's why I encourage you, friends, to move your bodies and to eat well and to sleep properly and to stay hydrated, because only focusing on the spiritual side of ourselves leaves the physical side of ourselves unbalanced, and that imbalance will influence your spiritual life as well. So weird. Seriously, Beansy, that's wild. Love is true. Have the most beautifulest day, everyone. I love you all so very, extremely, hugely, dearly. Melt and all of you wonderfully, lovely friends. Love you, Shan. Thank you. Thanks for the encouragement, you guys. Thank you for yours, Joy. Thanks, Jovan. My soul was deeply aching for this group, and it's good to be back here more often. It's nice to have you, Dan. We get to connect in ways that I feel it's a little bit lacking in our day to day lives these days. Thank you, friends, for connecting with me, for showing up in the space, for sharing the love that is your being. I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow. Love you.